Good evening, friends. I'm just on Twitter now. I will never stop calling it Twitter, by the way. I was just on Twitter now, and I see that, remember the Olympics with the supposedly Last Supper, right? Where they had a bunch of trans people in and things of that nature. Well, guess what? The left is coming back and they're saying that it is not the Last Supper. It is the Feast of Dionysus. And they bring it back to the fact that that would be Greek, and that's where the Olympics started, and that's what they were trying to do. And that's a very interesting point. I just want to give you guys a little more understanding about what it was called and what the deal was. So, I think it was in 537 BC. The Greeks created something known as the Great City Dionysia. It was the first giant get-together like this, and they did things there. Number one, they had the stadiums, right? And they would put on plays. One of the first things I learned when I was in acting school was that the concept of a theatrical play was begun in the Great City Dionysia. That's where it began. They put on productions. There was a lot of things that would happen there too. In fact, one could say that stand-up comedy began there, because they would have the play and then they would have other forms of entertainment, food, sexually promiscuous, all sorts of things. So the Great City Dionysia, they'd have food, and they'd have, like, the comedian come out, right? Someone would come out, and he'd be, like, talking to everyone. And he'd be like, did you hear what happened to Euripides by the waterfall? Or by the water fountain? And they would do things like that, in that nature. But understand that the Great City Dionysia is where theatrical plays come from. It's basically where stand-up comedy began. And they would just tell jokes and put on plays. There was also sexual proclivities during dinner. Orgies were not off the table, and things of that nature. So I just wanted to give you guys an idea that it is still a raucous event to base your opening of the Olympics on. And that's all I got to say about that, guys.